Hello.
Yeah,
Hello, world.
live radio.
Okay.
Bring it,
So,
bring it, bring it.
anyone wants to say something very important right now?
Yes.
Any one of you? No?
Not
Okay.
at
Not
all.
really. That's annoying. Um. Hmm. I'm. Let's see. There is a surprisingly calm energy here now. Gold vibration. Gold vibration to call Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, unity. You act as one body. One being. There's no lines like this without trust. We so much trust each other without knowing each other to create this powerful alliance. And you can ask yourself, why is it so hard to open your heart to a stranger? And you know that here many strangers come and become homies. You cannot attract what is not of your vibration. These hangouts serve you to learn more about what you're capable of, to gain self-confidence, trust in yourself, to speak boldly, publicly, Do not hesitate if you have something to say. Speak up and be bold, as you heard. You will represent to many their higher selves. Act accordingly. Expect others to see you as an example. They will expect that thing from you. The one that know you, they will expect to be the best you can be. You can of course fail their expectation. Isn't it more exciting to just be the best you can be and make others happy with it as well? You are, in this sense, just extensions of each other. You are limbs, serve different purpose that you choose for yourself, the place in the body where you can serve best to the body. You have chosen that before you incarnated on this planet. And to let others serve the best, you need to allow them to. And that is by unlocking, releasing the connections, the relations that you create with them, to let them go their way. They will come back. They are always with you, connected. In the realm of imagination, you can always communicate. You are one in that sense. Physically, you seem to be separating from each other, from the ones you love. From the perspective of the spirit, from the eternal perspective. You just pattern in the complicated, beautiful crystal. Not chaotic, You further your distance to anyone and anything for a time, and then you come back to it, perhaps in different form, because the form always changes. But you are never separated for all times. Time is truly the only dimension. Time it takes for you to get somewhere, to get something. In any direction. It's only time that separates you from the thing that you perceive. Playful energies that you bring serve most of you best, easiest flow when you're unlocked the expectation of what the reality should be, everything is supposed to be. Orange vibration, joy, love, even nonsense that could be beautiful vibration if you allow it. if you allow yourself to see it that way. You well understood. There is no need to ask questions. Flow of information is eternal and is infinite. It's unstoppable. Then just wait and watch. There's nothing else you need to do. If you wish to transform your world, that certainly helps. Knowing equals action. You truly believe what you say you believe, you act accordingly. You act as if it were so. So learn new honesty with yourself. It's very simple for most of you. How pain serves you. You punish yourselves. Always when you get pain, think, why would you deserve it? What it is you believe about yourself to deserve to have pain. Green vibration, relaxation, release of blocks, release of beliefs that don't serve you anymore. In the green vibration, you can dissolve them. Thank you for now.
Thank you. Beautiful.
That's now back to the art collector.
Mhm.
I I cannot understand those words you say in chat, but I feel I can say what I kind of comment to that through this half-channeled state is there's no time, just the time that you create for yourself. You
Yeah.
create it because it serves you. It serves you to experience. So you can choose what to experience and what time it gets it.
Yeah.
So you need
Actually,
to
what you
experience what you wish. Sorry?
Uh, yeah, actually, the thing is that you were saying the things, and I was like getting it's like the explanations, the individual explanations, the way, each and everyone can relate to them. So it's like I get more explanations, like, more detailed stuff, you know, because obviously when it passes through you, you understand it, but, you know. There are
Yeah,
many kinds
yeah,
of explanations. It's like somebody tells the story and somebody shows the drawings for it.
yeah,
That's pretty much what's happening. And at the same time working together without interrupting each other. So
good.
that's the thing. Because someone and many will be inspired by what you say and some will have questions. So it's like, giving the same thing in a more foolish way without getting in each other's way or our own ways. We're all
Mhm.
the same.
Yeah,
So basically, yeah, the question, the thing for Sean is, it's actually the same as you said, but some will understand when you give an example with blue, and some will get it when you give an example with green. It's just preference.
hmm,
You know,
hmm,
so those who get the questions on the box, since you're in a health channel state, I kind of take care of that. And you, those who are open to vocal stuff, get your part, and it's all the same, but more complete.
hmm,
And always without getting in anyone's way. So, because by doing that, we're actually getting in our own way. Because when you stop a message from coming to its fullest potential, you're actually limiting yourself. Because there's many
hmm,
things coming in many forms, and somebody will be inspired by not the thing you give. Maybe it will be, or she will be inspired by someone else's stuff. But then again, it will contribute to yours. You know, Maybe it will be even your stuff, but someone else will have an interpretation of it that will bring many more that you will not bring. You will bring others. And by bringing those from this side and those from the other side, we can all get to a common point, finding middle grounds. Basically,
yeah,
his question was, time is an illusion. Actually, illusion means something that is not there. But since the shadows are created after light, and since they only move when light moves, so I call it a light play. You know, because what is an illusion? It's a light play. You need lights moving around to create darkness and shadows moving around. So it's not even an illusion because it is, but it's a light play. It's just light moving around. You know. And you can create your own shadow by, putting your hand in front of your face, or you could just, embrace it. So again, time would be nothing more than what you think you need to go through to deserve what's coming to you.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you feel that you need to wait for an hour for the bus to come in, that's what's going to happen. If you think that you need to work for 2 years to get the hard work needed to get a promotion, that's what's going to happen. But if you feel and believe that life is effortless, that nothing requires nothing, that you can be sitting in your place and everything comes in, but if you truly believe in it, it will happen. That's what will happen, you know? So the safest thing for most would be a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and allowing themselves to experience more self-trust, self-belief, self-determination for accelerated manifestation, you know.
Yeah.
Hi Wendy. I'm just gonna go back to hi stuff.
Hey, Del.
Hey. All of it's very true. I've experimented with these thoughts and ideas of what can happen if I truly believe it in the aspect of time.
That's precisely what's been happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you discovered?
Well, if I think when I get off the plane, my luggage would be the first to come out in the terminal, when it comes out so you can pick it up, it actually comes the first one. If I put in my head it's going to happen, it actually comes. If I put in my head I'm going to wait for the bus and it's going to come right after I get to the bus stop, it actually happens that way.
Yeah.
It's just we do not use these ideas in our everyday lives because we don't think, well, we're not taught that it's possible, but when you put your mind to it, it actually happens the way you imagine it.
That's a very good point, too, Sarah, about putting it into your everyday lives.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to use an example with someone I know, and about just that, about explaining the law of attraction. And I simply said, then, start with something that means nothing to you. And I said, let's just start with a purple sweater. And said, I asked something about what would you like to have in the next 30 days, and how long do you believe it would take you to get there, and so forth. I said, start with something simple, and she said, like what? And I said, your purple sweater. Okay. So I told her to imagine having it, being in it, I can't, all the excuses why we couldn't find the purple sweater. Too expensive. I said, just see yourself in it and that you found it in their price range. And interestingly enough, a month later, someone came to me and said, by the way, I just wanted to tell you that person got a purple sweater and didn't even realize until I said, do you remember when so-and-so said to you about manifesting a purple sweater? And within, I don't know, a week, the purple sweater was manifested. So I guess I learned that, well, I reminded myself that it takes as much energy and belief to produce a castle as it does a button. And I also understood that this was also my way of introducing, in a real life situation, invalidation not only to that individual but to myself. That the purple sweater was indeed manifested, and indeed precisely in the manner in which we discussed, but only because I ended the playfulness with it with, now forget about the purple sweater. And she forgot all about the purple sweater. And in doing so, she manifested the purple sweater because there was zero resistance, because there was nothing to win or lose, really. And so
Yeah.
she was simply, easily able to manifest the purple sweater because there was simply no resistance in the belief, because she let it go.
Yeah. Because the more you keep something on your mind, the more likely you are to think that it might go wrong, and by that it gets twisted around. So when you just wish for something and leave it alone, you give it time to acquire a certain momentum. You see, it's just it's just like planting a seed and watering it and leave it. You don't stand there, watch it, and dig it every. It's not, when you plant something, you don't dig it every 5 minutes and see how it went. You leave it there.
But the point to and the point to the story was as well is these individual profess to have a high degree of faith, and yet there's never any faith about the fact that that could have been, that power was within them. And like you just said, you don't stand over the flower waiting for it to grow. You just know. You walk into knowing.
It's like the saying, a watched pot never boils.
Right. You just walk in, right. You walk into knowing that it's going to grow, it's going to boil, it's going to happen.
And you walk away, and then you come back in 5 minutes, and it boils.
And at the same time, you give yourself a moment to do something else that will contribute to the rest. And
exactly.
Precisely, because now you've
picture manifestation.
You've opened up this now because you've let that go.
Yeah. And
you're not worrying about how is this plant ever going to grow.
It's like manifestation is like walking into a kitchen. You get there, you put something on fire, you cut something else, you do something else. You don't just put something on fire, put something somewhere and keep watching it, It's like watching a toaster toast. You only do that when you have nothing to do. So
But yes, the ability to be able to realize that you have all these possibilities to focus on, and you get to choose which one you want to focus on and be within that, in that now, is a very fascinating understanding. And to just allow whatever it is that understanding is. So if I, for example, like we were talking about earlier, if I feel that Michael's energy just walked in and I allow it instead of denying it, then that in of itself makes it real, does it not?
It's like meeting in the middle, It's like coming halfway,
Mm-hmm.
Because they reach out to you, but you gotta jump a little bit up to grab the hand. That's just the thing.
I felt
precisely.
I had new explanation for what is happening. It's like a constant flow of information. I'm kind of like tapping to some of it, but uh, it's it's like a lot of it gets dropped, in between.
Oh, yes.
Because I don't agree, with it, so the flow continues, and then I pick up something different, but it still makes sense in the whole, because
Yes.
it really doesn't matter, because this is, created in many realms with co-creation of us all, our higher selves, as they are connected as one.
Yes. I agree. I explained it one day. I believe Sarah was there when I said, how you can listen to a symphony and pick out and choose what you wish to listen to, and I believe Kaz was there as well. It's all the stream of energy is all there. It's just which one you choose to listen to
Yeah.
right now. Which
Mm.
part do you want to hear? Do you want to hear the strings or the horns or which part do you want to hear right now? Because when you focus on that, I guarantee you won't hear the rest of it.
Yeah. You can also hear kind of how you don't need to, concentrate on something specific.
Yes, you can listen to all of the music all at once and hear a symphony.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Picture it as staying, sitting in a cafe. There's a lot of things going on. So you got multiple choices. You can shut your ears, your eyes, and everything and just concentrate on your table and what you're doing, your phone, notebook, whatever. You can watch cars and people pass by and stuff and what's going on. You can look up in the skies or at the weather if there is any, veggie stuff and everything. You can also look around and see people's interactions and what they're doing. And at the same time, you can allow yourself to be bothered by all that noise, or you can make an orchestra out of it, just put it together and imagine, let your flow come in the mix and create an orchestra, a music with all this cars moving, people talking, children playing, all that comes together. And then you're not bothered anymore. Or you can research, look what people are doing, and learn from what they're doing. Maybe you'll catch up a couple things. Maybe you'll get information. Maybe you'll hear a song that will make you feel a certain way better or something, and so forth and so on. Maybe you can even go on and talk to someone, engage in a discussion. Maybe they won't agree with you, maybe they won't even like you for no reason. But again, you can choose to let that stop you from talking to the rest of the people in that cafe or restaurant, or you can allow it not to stop you and keep going and doing what you want to do. So again, choices
Yeah.
everywhere. The way you act and behave can make the difference. But again, if you have the choice between accommodating to one or a group of persons in that place, you're kind of depriving yourself from the other experiences with the other people in that other place.
Yeah.
Basically,
Okay.
basically anybody could even come up for no reason. You're sitting in your place and somebody will come and say something you won't like. And again, you have a choice between looking for why that person said that, look first into yourself if it's true or not, and what's the point of it. And sometimes, most of the times, you'd be surprised because, for instance, I shaved my head, okay, like completely. I was walking around, and there was like kids, like kids going around, and they looked at me and they was like, "Oh, look, there's a monk." So instead of at first I was like, hold on, this didn't happen for no reason. So what's the reason of it? And then it popped in my head like instantly. I'm a monk. I look like a monk. That's gotta be good. So because the relationships between, or I could go all hell breaks loose, and I go, why did you say that, or chase them away, or because that to bother me. But instead, it was turned into something that benefited me and made me realize some things. You know, so that's part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hmm. Well, the other side of the power of focus, like, and with the same thing being said, you can be in a situation where you're in the middle of something that's, you could have 50,000 people around you and a bunch of noise, or be at some kind of an event, and you could be in your mind a million miles away and hear absolutely nothing around you.
That's very true.
So the power of your focus is tremendous. Um, the paradox, I think, of one of what I've becoming to understand is that in order to sometimes you can choose something you want to focus on. For example, say you're looking up something and you find a thread and you go, oh wow, this would be really cool to explore in my mind, and focus on that thing and take it somewhere new. Or the other side of that, though, is it takes just as much focus to just simply allow.
And one of the things you could do at the same time in that cafe is to meditate. Okay, there's a lot of noise, so you have again a choice. You can allow it to disturb your peace, or you can say, hey, wait a minute, I can meditate in here. And if
Yep.
I can and if I can meditate in a place where there's a lot of noise, that means I got a stronger focus. And if I got a stronger focus, then again, I'm not going to be bothered. And that would make you come up out of that with a good thing, where nobody would expect it. So again, choices.
It's all about, yes, it's all about choices. Well, I once said to someone, how did I say that? Um, if you can't be happy everywhere, then you can't be truly happy anywhere.
Beautiful.
My version of that would be, if you can't be happy somewhere, you won't be happy anywhere.
Exactly. That's true too.
Well, again, it means the main thing, same thing.
Mhm.
For instance, now you can go on and be like, no, that's not what I meant, but it's the same thing. So, again, choice is an allowance. And even if you feel that it's not fruitful and constructive with you, it doesn't vibrate with you, you can just let it flow. Or you could support that person. You don't have to identify and get into their experience, but you can still support them without going there. You can
Correct. That's a very good way to put it.
you can
Oh,
contribute to the building of a house without having to live in it.
mhm.
But nobody would, not many at least, would get that conception of, why would I build a house that I won't live in? Well, maybe because somebody will live there and get a better life, and that would make everybody's life better.
Yes, you don't need to be compelled to step into it necessarily to support the foundation of it.
The very definition of something that's called noble, it's not in blood, it's not in anything, it's not in DNA, it's not in past. Noble is simply allowing something that you don't necessarily have to benefit from or have to insert yourself into. It could be something that has nothing to do with you and you would still contribute, you know? And you never know, by that, it will still benefit everyone.
Very good way to put it. Good perspective. The other side of that, too, I think I've discovered, though, in that we understand that our connections with one another, we know that there's reasons why we're together, and the ebbs and flows of of those energies, and I was told, if you will, to also not doubt, like you were saying earlier, there's so many millions of possibilities, and and as our perceptions accelerate, we're starting to see so many more of these possibilities all at the same time, as you said. And not to deny, but not to deny based on disbelief, this can't be happening to me, or why me, or whatever. The feeling of unworthiness that, yeah, this person just opened up this connection, and even though it's almost too unbelievable for me to conceive, it's there, and it happened, and I don't maybe know why, but it happened. And to stop looking for outside, because there is no outside validation for for what did I just see, and it really makes you understand there's a whole lot of people out there in psychiatric wards that there's probably not a single thing wrong with them, because they're just seeing what we're seeing now. And they just couldn't figure out how to explain it to anybody, just like we can't.
Well, there's always a way to explain something. Well, it seems random, okay, and it seems like not 3D at all. It seems like not linear, but again, that's how things work, not linear. Suppose the Earth was just growing weed or something, or trees, anything, in just a certain part of the world, just a certain part of itself. The rest of the world will have to wait until it does the same there. But if you notice, everything is growing everywhere. So it's not waiting for one thing to happen in the other. The basics of saying that everything will be alright and not saying, not condition it, is because you limit it when you try to give it a shape. By saying everything will be good, it's not just random. It just means that you don't have to see some signs or see some things. You don't limit the potential of how good it could be. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be green, or it has to be blue, or it has to be this. You limit the potentials of it happening, because it might come in blue, but it will come twice as more or 3 times more than you expected. So again, you don't limit it, it just comes more abundant in a way.
Thank you for that reminder.
Yes, indeed. Actually, yeah, just like Bashar said, the higher mind is to you is the floor, to us is the ceiling, to them is the floor.
It's actually not to us or to them, it's just to everyone, because they could actually act on their physical mind 100%, and that will make them behave in, well, not like us, but just in ways that will be less effective, you know, and less enjoyable.
František, are we keeping you from channeling? Because I don't want to do that. Well, okay, good. Apparently he's momentarily occupied.
Rest assured, he's not gonna go before he finishes recording.
Exactly.
Good point. Because I will admit, I have had days where I've said and said and cried and yelled and why what is this trying to tell me? What am I supposed to do with this information?
Actually, you know, just the simple fact that you say and admit, well, I cried and this and that, you don't allow it to come and stand in your way anymore. Because if people or anyone or even yourself tell yourself someday, well, you said you're crying, you'll be like, yeah, you know. But if you felt like pushed away or you felt like any less than you are, if you're confronted with the fact that you're crying either by someone or yourself, you allow it to stand in your way, you know. So you
Yes,
accept
and I did exactly that.
so you accelerate your expression, otherwise said your throat chakra, by expressing yourself more and admitting that you can express yourself. But if you let something or someone make you feel like any less, you're gonna be manipulated that way. See the thing?
That was one of the biggest I can't even remember which angel it was, but that was one of my main ideas of focus these past several weeks have been on just that, opening up my throat chakra and trying to let it come in and out. And, it was stuck big time.
Everyone can relate, you know?
And I'm not even feeling that it's not completely unstuck. I just know that it's less stuck.
Well, that's the start, you know? That's the start. It's gotta start somewhere. And the thing is, it ends nowhere, you know? That's the beauty
Well,
of it.
I mean, and I know that too because today was the first time that I like, actually let an entity, if you will, for lack of a better word, come through and actually talk, and talk out loud, alone by myself, and not feel I don't know what.
You know what? You wanna know what, Lynn? One thing is, if everybody was allowing, everybody would be doing things and floating things around. But the ridicule is, and the difference, you know, the separation is what makes everybody stuck in a way, you know, because
Correct.
like 5% gets the right to do what they want to do and be watched by everyone and, you know, express themselves, and the rest is just like waiting for their turn and at the same time being like, well, maybe I shouldn't. But if everybody encouraged everybody, everybody would be speaking, you know?
Well, that was, yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That was the whole point,
At the
I
same
thought,
time,
too, of,
at the same
being able
time,
to go off in smaller groups because it actually allows people a little more time when 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 people are pressed for time and you've got a whole bunch of people, there's just less time for each person because we still live in that time-based understanding. But you know what I mean? So I think the opportunity to branch off and do these things and speak languages and channel in smaller groups is a great idea.
Well, it just allows everybody to find when they're, place where they're more feeling like themselves in a way.
Right.
So basically, there's also a certain enjoyment, you can see in establishments and everything. You can see that it becomes enjoyable. It's like celebrities, and fashion and everything. There's a certain enjoyment at the same time that they get to express themselves, because if everybody was expressing themselves and taking pictures of themselves and publishing it everywhere, same way they do, and get the same recognition from everyone, they would be like, they would feel a bit more common.
Oh, of course. And how many celebrities do you know that are out there who
So
probably would love
many,
to reach out and can't?
yeah, well, so that's why you see that many kind of, enjoy the fact that there is suppression and that there's ridicule and everything. Because if there was no ridicule, everybody would be just as, enjoying themselves just as them.
Of course, yes, absolutely.
So they also enforce that in some way by, you know, wearing stuff that not many can wear and doing stuff that not many can do. And, you know, out buying each other and out, it's like a race in a way, like a competition, buying more stuff, getting more stuff, doing more stuff. Why? Because if you went general and you allowed everyone to live their passion, they would be just like you. And the funny part is, even them are not living their passions. So again, if everybody allowed everyone else, everything would be a better way. But again, to each their own, and we shift to a place where we do what we want to do. I guess František went, on a talk with the cat or something.
Oh, there he is.
I was just talking to the cat. Friendly chat.
He's getting comfortable.
And he's looking like me. Yes, you. Let's invoke František all together.
František, are you channeling again?
Yeah, he's channeling the window.
Looks like he's being beamed.
Feels weird to see daylight.
Is it? Yeah, because it's almost night where he is.
It's not almost night. It's already night.
Yes, already. No, it says always night.
In my place?
No, where he is when he's channeling.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're close to the ceiling. That's gotta be the fifth dimension or something. Yeah.
Yes, it's another perspective.
I hope you can astral project, because if you get up, boy, your head will give some sounds. It will resonate. Oh yeah. Anybody has water? The thing that water boiling thing, the sound.
No. Oh, he does.
Yeah, that's something worth exploring. It's a device that an ex-pilot invented because of pressure and the heat, the resonance in his cockpit after some engines started to fly. And at the same time, he plays a saxophone, and he noticed that many things, different things, vibrate each time he played a certain note. So somehow he went and grabbed like those uh, those bicycle things. I don't know the name exactly. Those, I don't know the freaking name. Basically, he just melted a couple things together and created a certain resonance frequency, you know,
Okay.
and that boils water like quick, like very fast. I got it somewhere. Yeah. Peter Davy of New Zealand invented a way to boil water using sound frequency.
Hmm.
You know, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you see it, guys? I'm sharing the screen here.
Yes. What are you sharing? Oh, that guy. Yeah, I saw that on the Google Plus.
You can read, right?
From your thing, no, but I'll have to look at it from the Google Plus.
Wait. Here's a better version.
Hmm.
Shows better, right?
Okay.
More readable. Basically, he just took some bicycle bells and fused them together,
Mm-hmm.
This is
because they're sound conducting.
That's crazy.
František looks like he's
Yeah, you see
levitating. I love it.
Yeah. It looks like he's
what?
sitting on a cloud.
Doesn't he though? He does. He looks like he's levitating. Maybe he is and he's trying to fool us into thinking he's not.
Maybe we just gotta get into short.
You are levitating. You just act like you are attracting points. You attract your You help the earth attract sun. You can look at it in any perspective, but the observer perspective is the only one that is real. There is no objective perspective. Each has its own version of equality. Meditation is a matter of geometry, the symbology, what you assign to our experience. You heard us say this is a dream. Another kind of dream. One that you assign life rules to. When you were a small child, you were limitless. You're just wondering, why are you returning back to this dream which you've been before? Why this dream doesn't seem to end? You do not understand that you have chosen this for yourself. To have this dream again and again. For you to be able to develop your logic, project this as real as possible for you to experience. Because as a child, you don't perceive difference between your dreams, between your day-to-day reality. You don't know whether you're dreaming with time. You learn to recognize timeline of your choosing, to recognize time as such. And then you assign different perceptions, your timeline, as if it was something real that exists. But it is not, it does not exist. Your timeline is just here in your imagination for you to believe or to transform. There is truly nothing for you exciting enough in the past. You don't have to look back. In fact, if you're looking for excitement, don't ever look back to your past because it's not there. Don't look for your excitement in the future because it's not there. Your excitement, your passion can only be here with the thing that you are able to do right now. Future holds nothing. Future does not exist. Future is created within consciousness as the most probable thing that may happen. Through this stream, through this flow, you can learn, you can be part of it. You can feel that it is your time to speak. If you don't hesitate, the message will come to all of you as to one body, as a call. God, through limitless beings. And we are learning that with you as well. You are showing us realms undiscovered before. You can imagine what we couldn't before. You, thanks to your limitation that you have chosen, so you're truly able to create complications. The one that serve you as complexities that we weren't able to do. For us, everything is simple. To us, everything is love. We thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
Yes, we thank you as well.
Yes. Thank you.
is now expressed to you. We never imagine feelings like this that we experience to you, that you allow us to have so strong. You are masters of contrast. You don't see much light spectrum, or the emotional spectrum. You are the most enlightened. You can bear all those emotions and handle them. And we are learning to recognize ourselves in you, to behave as your higher selves, behave ourselves to others. You are their reflection. You are what their ourselves bring to them. You are the servant in that sense. All that is, be the perfect reflection in all times. It's the easiest thing to do, the path of least resistance. And whenever you can, whenever you remind yourself, expand your focus, expand your point of view so that you can see more perspectives at once and forget who you are. You're not a collapsed, crystallized version of yourself that walks this planet as a rock. Everything is alive, and the life comes from spirit. Manifested spirit is the true. Another dimension out. Just you can see everything, not just from one, from infinite number perspectives. You have always been able to do that, of course. Now you are becoming conscious of it. And with that comes ability to be more your own Lord, your own God. Your feminine side says there's something greater than I am. And I trust this entity. You don't realize that it is not outside of you. You are it. You are personifying your higher aspect. And any name you give it works. You're crying blue skies. What is happening to me? Why? You are asking yourself. You believe you deserve, you will get. But you believe your God will give you, you will get. If it's punishment, if it's reward, you create all that you perceive, no exception. Thank you for allowing. Oh.
Thank you, Frankie.
Awesome as usual.
Yes, thank you.
But after a bit, I was a bit like the cat, I was just looking around for no reason. And I was like, what's the cat seeing? And I was seeing some things.
The cat's eyes are glowing.
Yeah, I think I end it. Or you feel like, oh, yeah, no, just have a
actually it's not gonna end because what you call end, you'll end it and other people watch it, so it's starting over, so it's not ending really.
Precisely. Oh, that made me feel beautiful.
Yes,
Well,
it's
that's
starting.
because you are.
Yeah, you did.
We should make a group or something.
Hmm.
We'll call it, no, just for František and Justin and me and just a couple others. We'll call it those who manifest weed, you know?
Oh my goodness.
So that others would make other groups and manifest something else, and we'll invent something like bartending, you know?
No. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's hilarious. But that's what a great idea. Well, isn't that?
Justin,
I mean,
Justin,
really.
like really tried that stuff. Like we really took pieces of, you know, pieces of wood and pieces of things, and we put them somewhere, and we really tried, like really tried.
Oh no.
Oh yes, because if we didn't dare to do that, we wouldn't go finding and doing other stuff, you know? So it's just
Right.
like a start. And by saying that, we don't mind because we're not gonna let that come in our way. Because if every time somebody ridiculed anything about us, we'd be like, maybe they're right, you know? So again, you know, but still the idea is cool, you know?
That is funny. Yeah, imagine.
It would be awesome, you know?
Yeah.
We would all get together and chant and stuff, and then wow, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I get bombarded with the messages that we really need to be working on our telepathy. That we need to be, yes, that we need to be working more on our telepathy.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't say anybody or anyone specific has to, and that's actually what we're doing now. So yeah,
Exactly. That is very, and I was just going to say is, and this is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
since everything comes through least resistance ways, then you know it will come to everybody. But again, depending on their preference, you know.
I also have the understanding that those of us who group together at different times and different nows, like here, for example, I'm being told that the energies are also for what, if we want to call it future use. In other words, right now we're building connections for future telepathic messages between those of us who are together and open to that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, right now the people present would be forming a connection to be able to strengthen their telepathic abilities among one another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't have to be someone or this one or anyone. What matters is that you bring the message, you know. So who wants to listen? Listen, you know.
Well, you just brought that message to me.
Because some, you know, there's a little bit kind of confusion between the urgency of bringing the message and the urgency of who to share it with. course, there is some kind of urgency to bringing the message, but it doesn't have to apply to a certain group or certain individuals or certain this or certain that. You should bring the message, because if you keep it just to yourself, you're just gonna go nuts, because you can't be less aware. Okay, other than that, you'll be just playing with yourself, fooling yourself.
Oh, you just explained
Thing
right
is,
there. You just explained
bring,
right there the physical pain
yeah,
that I
uh,
experienced was because I wasn't letting it out.
yeah. Well, I went through that too, because again, there is an urgency in bringing the message. Yes, you should, and yes, you can. But there's no certain measure of urgency to who should get it first. Who should get it is whoever wants it first, you know? Because who doesn't want to won't get it anyway, you know?
Mhm.
You can say that colors and rainbows come from the sun and radiations and everything and frequencies of the different things and come in white since they're condensed and then split apart to many various frequencies and everything. And there was always, at least to a certain point, gonna be that guy who's gonna tell you, no, rainbows exist because water falls out the sky and then there's sun and then you see a rainbow. And basically you'll just be like, yeah, that's one way to do it. So there's no sun, there's no radiations, there's no frequency, there's just water floating from down the sky and there's sun and that creates a rainbow. As far as he's concerned, rainbows are just water and light falling all together down for some reason, you know?
Ah,
So,
true.
you know, so that's what he sees, you know? It doesn't make it less true, but you don't have to be sitting there and saying, well, he's right. All what I'm thinking, all what I've seen, all what I've experienced is false, you know? Water and sun makes rainbows. There's no frequencies, there's no color indication, there's nothing. There's just water and sun and it falls down and it makes rainbows. Basically that's the choice there. So you let the guy do his thing until someday he bumps into something or stumbles upon something and figures out that actually it comes from the sun and light and everything else. But if you keep running after the guy and trying to prove your point, he'll feel like you're actually trying to convince him to win something or do something or so you just let it happen.
That's
That goes hand to hand with the fact that the more you chase something, the more you're scared away.
well, that's what allowance is allowing, not needing another condition to change for you to be in allowance.
That's one thing about being too strict for a reason. Suppose there's somebody very scheduled, very organized, very tight, and those kind of people. Like students don't do that much, but like teachers. So the guy is straight in time. He waits for the bus. He's supposed to be there at a certain time. The bus doesn't come. What the guy does is leave. 5 minutes later, the bus comes in. What I mean. So being too strict conditions the way you're supposed to receive something.
Correct?
If it doesn't come at a certain frame, it makes it like not there anymore because you don't see it anymore. You just say, okay, it didn't come at like 5:30, so it's not gonna happen ever. And by that, you just avoid it while you wanna meet it. You know what I mean?
Well, and nor can you judge the validity or lack thereof of your own experiences simply based upon another's, because if it did not happen to them, then
Of
therefore
course, there are many
it didn't
elements like
happen.
that. like patience and everything. But basically, if you put restrictions and conditions on what's coming to you, you will feel like you missed it sometimes. And it may have to come by certain shapes and ways that may serve you, but they won't be like the best there is. So you keep your options open, most and more stuff will come. You limit yourself, you condition yourself, you ought to expect some, limits.
Every now and then I get what I feel are energetic applause.
You do, Cheryl?
It's kind of funny. And sometimes I'll get energetic groans and like, oh no, are we really revisiting this again?
Yeah, and sometimes everybody's cheering, and
I
you
mean,
know,
they're
you know,
still, well, the funny part about it is they're still cheering, but they're like, okay. We're cheering the fact that you realize you need to do it again, but really, do we need to do it again? We're happy about the awareness part, but dude, really? Again?
I get that part.
Oh, oh, it's almost comical.
You don't need to, share it around because basically it's like Cryon said, don't tell them you open doors. Because if you go outside and be like, galaxies and people and things in it are cheering for me, they'll be like, what?
Exactly.
But again, if you feel confident enough and not allow it to get in your way, then by all means do. Who knows? Maybe you'll even open up doors for yourself where there will be like that one person or two that will be like, I'm interested, tell me more. So again,
Yeah, it happens.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that because, for example, I will listen to someone channeling something and I will realize that, say, I'm only one of, say, 30 people out of 7 billion people on this planet. I'm one of 30 people that are listening to this person. Now, while I'm listening to this person, I'm getting, I don't know, I'll get a download or a message or a new language. All of a sudden, I'll start speaking something. So, how could I possibly then, in a flash of a moment, deny what I just experienced and realize that, okay, I'm only one of 30 people who just saw this, and I experienced something pretty darn profound here, and oh my God, it like led me to this and that, or this discovery, or and how could I possibly deny the synchronicity that that message was not meant for me? How could I even believe that that message was not meant for me?
Okay.
Even for a fraction of a moment.
Just trust it. Don't question whether or not it was for you. Just
But
trust that
that's
it
my
was.
point. That's my whole point. Is then when you do question it, and then you say, "How could I possibly question that?" Like it's so obvious.
Yeah,
Yes.
just accept that it was meant for you when it happens.
Oh, exactly. And sometimes it's something that's been out there for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
only I'm just hearing it today.
Right. Are you learning that everything you see and you experience in any given now moment, it's for you?
And just as he was channeling that if we are indeed creating our own experience for our own experience, and we created that experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it 5. Okay.
What's that?
I'll stop the recording, alright?
Very
Oh,
good.
sure, go ahead.
Bye bye, world.